People with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no, by all Chrome extension. But no, by all Chrome extension.
Hey, sorry about that. I just started streaming an ad. It's not a Lightbox stream without some technical difficulties, right? Oh, dang it. Chrome extension. Okay, let me fix the music. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? Make them pay you. That's the idea. Is my voice still quiet right now? Do I need to pump that up a little bit? It's still quiet? Alright. I have this gain knob on the back of the mic. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2, okay, what about now? It's a little bit louder, right? Is that a little bit better? It's good? What's up, Jack? How's it going, pirate mate? That's better? Alright, cool. I just discovered this knob yesterday. I mean, I knew it was there, but now I'm using it. Check 1 2. Alright, so let me switch over to the real stream thing. Hello. How's it going, everyone? Pirates, how was it yesterday? It was very good. Colin and Jack and I played Sea of Thieves together, and it was super fun. We found some poor dude on a boat by himself and just rammed into his boat and made sure he had a really bad day. It was kind of mean. But it was fun. Yeah. Got lots of gold. Alright. So, where we left off... How's the music right now, by the way? Is it too loud? Can you hear it? Bobby? Bobby, the wizard's name is Bobby now? I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you. You can make that happen. So this is where the thing left off last time. This is where I got it to, but I was like not super happy with it, so I actually woke up this morning and fixed it. Just started painting into it, and this is pretty much where I got to with it. So I wanted to make sure that it was in a good place so that we could actually animate today. So yeah, I'm gonna say that for now the illustration is pretty much in a good place. By the way, use your brushes. Such a dream to paint with. I'm so happy that you feel that way, Carmen. That's awesome. Gandog. Bobby Gandog. So yeah, I noticed that the whole image was a little bit too purple. So let's see if we can even see what happened in the time lapse, because that might be cool. So it was too purple blue overall. So I just took some desaturation around the edges, like this, and made it a little more red and orange and green. I think I made it green, I don't remember. But yeah, just kind of dropped the saturation and then painted into everything a little bit, gave her a little shadow, changed the way the magic looks from that to that, and then just painted things here and there. And yeah, so now it's here. So I think the next step is going to be to animate some of these elements, and we've already decided when we were doing last stream that we were going to animate this thing right here and her hair, just because it's kind of like two easy things to animate. So yeah, let's get to it. I sort of decided that I would keep all of the animation in Procreate because I started to test exporting and stuff, and there's like a max resolution for importing or for having canvases and what's it called, in Rough Animator. So I'm just gonna keep everything in Procreate to make things a little bit easier. So to start off, I'm going to duplicate this file so that I don't accidentally destroy any of the elements in our original design. I'm gonna keep this guy right here, which is our frame, so I know where the edge of the animation sits at the very top. And then everything else is gonna go into a folder, right swipe on all this stuff, group it, and then flatten it. So now we just have 2 layers. I'm gonna put a layer in here, and then I'm going to group this together and open up my animation timeline, animation assist. I'm gonna call this a background layer. Make another layer for our animation and call this rectangle a foreground layer. So now everything we're animating is gonna be in between. Cool. And we don't need this at full opacity, so I'm gonna turn it down. And I'm just gonna remember that, you know, we're animating this and this. I don't actually need those arrows there. So, actually, hold on. I have to go do something. One moment. I'm gonna mute myself. One minute. Okay, I'm back. So how was everyone's Lightbox day 1 panels stuff so far? Also, I'm gonna grab Mr. Pencil and like a gray color. Alright, so I'm just gonna start with this tennis ball, and I'm really lazy, so I'm just gonna use draw circles around the tennis ball. And maybe 12 frames per second to make our life easier. In other words, like everything would be on 2s if it was 24. So what does the setting for the foreground background do again? Oh yeah, okay, so like if I have a bunch of animation layers, I can scroll through these, right? And then you'll see that the foreground layer, I'm gonna actually make it a group to make it a little bit easier. We have our foreground group. I'll rename it foreground. Oh, FYI, that's not right. Foreground. All right, and then background. So these will stay still. So you can see background layer is the layer that I'm referencing and drawing over, and you can see I have this circle. That's like our animation, right? And I'm scrubbing through the animation right now. So the foreground layer, which is this box around the edge, is staying where it is, and the background layer, which is this faint image, is also staying where it is. So background will just be below your animation and foreground will be on top of your animation. So yeah, what's casual drawing? It's like it's like a casual stream. So like it's not, this isn't very official, nothing serious. It's casual. I don't really know. It's a good question. All right, this is serious drawing, and this is like casual drawing. Like, hey, how's it going? So maybe that's it. Do you think about form and volume when you're doing more stylized 2D art? Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's like such an interesting thing to play with, where you can just have a flat shape. Like let's say this is your flat shape, right? But then you can put details to indicate what kind of 3D shape it is. Like for instance, if I was to do something like this, right? It might seem very rounded, right? It might seem very round because there's like a smooth gradation going all the way around. But if I was to do something like this, it might seem more like almost like a coffin shape or something like that. So this is the 2D shape that I'm thinking about, but then you can put details on the inside to make it seem like it's like it has more three-dimensional aspects to it. And I could even do something like this, you know? So now there's like an additional piece on top of this other shape that's indicated right here. So yeah, I think about that stuff all the time, and I think it's something that's really fun to play with. The back and forth between what's a 3D shape and what's a 2D shape. How do you break out of reality when you draw really stylized 2D art? That's actually a really good question. I might talk about this for a second before I go in and animate. So the way I think about it is like, here's you, right, as an artist with hair, and you are drawing something, right? You're working on something with your pencil, and that something that you're making is an image. It's an image plane, right? So they're image making is different than reality. Like it has different rules than reality. Like you're using principles like contrast. You're using ideas like design, and you're using shape and all that stuff. So when you're making realistic artwork, all of these things sort of funnel together into something that imitates reality. How do you spell imitates? Can someone help me out? I can't think and like draw stuff. Reality. So you're trying to create the illusion of reality. I just wrote illusion of reality instead of imitate. So when you do realistic stuff, right? When you're doing stuff that's more stylized, you're thinking a lot more about this process of image making. What is this abstract square? What is this abstract circle, triangle, whatever? So when you're making stylized, you're taking stylized things. You're taking all of these different, I don't like that shape at all. You're taking all of these ideas about contrast, design, shape when you're thinking about image making, and you're pushing all of those ideas to a more abstract place. So like if I was drawing a pine tree that was realistic, it might maybe look something that's sort of like this, you know? With all these edges and all this detail and rendering that's in the middle. And then at the end of that, I would have something that someone would look at and be like, wow, that's a realistic pine tree, because you're making all these marks. As you're doing image making, you're making all these marks that indicate that it's a realistic pine tree. I think that's what pine trees look like. Someone can sacrifice me if I'm wrong. But then if you're doing something that's very stylized, you're thinking about a pine tree and you're saying, what, through the process of image making, can I put down that represents a pine tree, but it's not a pine tree? And in this case, it's very easy. You could abstract things down to like a triangle and a square. And then suddenly things become very stylized and you're breaking away from reality quite a lot. And you can do things like, now I'm going to introduce a pattern like so. And once again, this is like an image making idea. So, and now we've taken something that is somewhat in the realistic spectrum and pushed it towards something that's a little more stylized. So yeah, the point is to separate in your mind what you observe with your eyeballs as reality. Observe. So what you observe is different than what you're doing with image making. So if you just go outside and look at things and observe stuff, that's very, very different than image making. Image making is a whole process, and it has a whole language, and you can play with that language to either push things realistic or stylized or completely abstract. So yeah, that's kind of a very long explanation to answer that one question in particular. I'm gonna save this one because I think that's a good explanation. Image making. I'm making. Okay, let me turn that off. Let's get back to drawing tennis balls. So it's really about how you distill and filter that info to create the same things. Yeah, exactly. And it's also about intention. Like, is my intention to create something that represents reality, or is my intention to play with the ideas of design until I have something that looks stylized? Do I want to play with style? I wonder when my brain is going to break trying to talk about animation, talk about design while I'm animating. I'm gonna lose my mind a little bit. It's a good explanation. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, no problem. And I started animating without explaining anything of what I'm doing. So I'm just animating the tennis ball first. And then I'm gonna put the magic all around it. And hopefully that works. So, and I should explain what I want the tennis ball to do. Okay, so if I'm looking at a graph, and this is time right now. Yep, this is time. And this is up and down. I want my tennis ball to do this, slowly coming up, and then very quickly coming up, and then settling into up forever, and then doing the reverse. So, copy, paste. Yeah, can I do that? Duplicate. Vertical. And then doing the reverse, coming back down. Oh, shoot. I drew that on the animation layer. Well, that's not very smart. But that's fine. I'm gonna put this in the background there. Cut and paste. Okay, cool. Now it's in the background there. So I don't know if this makes sense, but if you look at this in terms of frames, if this is frame 1 and this is frame 2 and this is frame 3, you can see the up and down position changes only a little bit, and it changes quite a lot. And this is frame 4 and 5 and 6. Let's just say it's 6 frames long. This is the down position right here. This is the up position right here. There's only one ease out frame. And then we get very far on this sort of breakdown frame right here. And then we ease in a whole lot all the way until the end. And I think I'm gonna try to make this 6 frames and then another 6 to make it 12, but I'm not sure. So, I've heard that animating can help you improve your drawing skills. Have you found that to be true in your experience? Yes, absolutely. Because when you're animating, you have to you have to draw a lot, and you have to draw, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to think a lot about gesture when you draw. So I think animating can really add a lot of movement to your drawings. Yeah. So then this is just gonna ease in forever. Let me turn my onion skins down to just see one. Oh shoot, I don't wanna do that. Where's my onion skin? Oh, just one frame, maybe 2. Okay, cool. What am I doing? Okay, yeah, now I'm just gonna make this one sort of ease in forever. Smaller line. Just gonna ease in forever. And then actually, I think I can be really lazy and not animate the down and just duplicate the frames and rotate it 180. So let's see how that feels. That feels pretty good. Maybe one more ease in that's like basically in the same place as this other one. And because I'm not sure what the cycle the hair is going to be on, and I want this to be a loop overall, I want to make sure that everything that I animate is an even number. So it has an even number of frames. So like if you look at, if I have a 4-frame cycle and a 6-frame cycle, this one is going to have to repeat twice, right? 6 frames and then another 6 frames. And then that's 12. And then 4 will go into that 3 times. So like that. I think that's right. 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 3 is also 12. Yeah. So that at the end of this time, when this 6-frame loop has repeated twice and this 4-frame loop has repeated 3 times, it can go back and loop again seamlessly. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like math and stuff. And artists aren't always the best at math. So I know I'm not. Cut and paste because I put this on my damn animation again. Alright, so this is just the up movement. That seems pretty good, right? And there's a little dot that's on the screen that's bothering me, so I'm gonna erase that. Alright. So, I'm just gonna very tediously rename these. And then I'm gonna look at chat. And oh my god, it is hot in here. Why do I not have air conditioning on? I don't know what I'm doing. Let me just make my life a little more comfortable. That's so aesthetically pleasing to me. What's aesthetically pleasing? Michael's so much better at talking and drawing at the same time than most streamers. I don't know about that. Well, actually, I don't watch that many art streamers, so I might be good at it. I don't know. Happy Saturday, jumping back and forth between you and Nicholas Cole's Twitch stream. Oh, Nicholas Cole is such a nice guy, and I love his art. I was chatting to him about La Galleria Roja, the gallery. And he's such a nice guy, man. I'm so happy that I got to talk to him for a minute. Okay, so we have the up working okay, right? So now what I'm gonna do is gonna break Procreate for a second. I mean, break the animation Procreate. I'm gonna group all this, which is gonna turn it into 1 frame, right? And then I'm going to duplicate it and just flip it upside down with my with these on. All right. And then I'm gonna tap it. Actually, let's just see how that plays right now. So basically what I did is I had the upward movement figured out, and I want it to be like this. So it's gonna go so it'll be the same ease in on either side of the up and down. So let's see if that worked. Hopefully it did. I'm just gonna drag all these out of these groups now to put it back into each frame is its own animation layer. Ooh. There we go. I didn't have to do that much animating because I'm lazy. I don't like animating that much. I mean, I like animating. I just like saving time. Galaxy Brain, thank you. Criminal mastermind. Yeah, this is crime. 100%. Now, let's see how many frames we actually have yet. We have 14 frames. It's gonna be hard to divide into. So I'm gonna take the the frame that linked up right here, 7 and 1. I'm gonna delete them. So wait, no, that's not right. And delete 1 here. Oh damn, what am I doing? Oh, I'm just gonna delete 7 for both of them. Okay, cool. Cool, now I have 12 frames. I don't know, does it seem a little fast to you all? I think it seems a little bit fast. I'm lazy, I don't like animating that much, but I love animating. That's right. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? It's moving a little bit too fast, and rather than redrawing everything or like trying to think about things, I'm just gonna undo until I'm back to where I had a lot fewer frames. So what I'm gonna do here is just take these top frames, because once again I kind of want to be a little lazy here, and just lower the spacing. If you have less spacing, it'll move slower. So let me turn on magnetics. So I'm just gonna lower the spacing of everything. And the ease-ins should be alright how they are, maybe, but we'll see. Might need to crunch those a little bit. Let me use the tapping thing, tap tap. So now when I look at this, take it out of this group really quick. That's looking like it should be good when I duplicate stuff. So let's find out. This is a very trial and error, not planning too much approach to animation, which is very fitting for me. I don't plan too much. I don't plan too much, which is evidenced by the fact that I did not finish this illustration on stream yesterday. I was supposed to, but let's delete 7. Alright, hopefully this worked. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle stream once again. Oh, I forgot to flip it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Dang, we really needed those 7th frames. Like, it has to be a 14 frame cycle. That's okay. Alright, so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the 14 frame cycle, even though basically what's happening with the 14 frame cycle is the first frame and the last frame are held for an extra frame. Okay, that feels good. We'll just go with it. It's fine. I just don't like it because 14 divided by 2 is 7, and then 7, you can't divide that by 2 anymore. So it just makes some things with like thinking about animation a little bit more difficult, but that's all right. So now we have this in place. This is our tennis ball. I wonder if we should have the tennis ball slowly spinning or something, like the texture on it. The what is it? This line right here. This thing. I think that could be cool, like it's spinning backwards. So let's just figure out exactly how we're gonna do that. So that means that on this middle frame, if we have it do 1 rotation, on the middle frame we're gonna see the halfway point. So let me go to this one and draw in this. Then I'll go to the halfway point, which I think is 7. or 1 again or something. And then I'm gonna draw it the other direction like this. Let me make sure that it is lined up correctly. All right, so it's gonna be going the other way. I don't know, I'm struggling to draw like the simplest shape right now. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna make it an even kind of roll. So halfway in between those two, about here or something. Really didn't do halfway, did I? Halfway should be there. I'll just put it here. Gonna have this right here. Let me think about this. Animation, I think it requires a lot of thinking, unfortunately. You can't just like YOLO all the time. Whatever, I'm just gonna go for it. So then this one will be a little bit higher up. Hopefully this like works. This is like straight ahead when you just go for it. All right, a little bit higher this time. A little bit higher this time. Let's go backwards from this one, so a little bit lower this time. Oh God, what did I do? Lower than that. Okay. I'm gonna go lower than that. Okay, and it worked. Even though it shouldn't have worked, it worked. Okay, so now we have the first spin. Going backwards. It kind of worked. Yeah, it's gonna be rotating. So I think that the trick to it rotating is just making it move a little bit each time. Alright, so this one that's at the end of the sequence just has to be a little bit in the other direction. So we'll see if this works. And then we'll continue this backwards rotation by making this one just slightly higher. I guess I was overthinking it a little bit. So then this one. Oh, this is a weird situation where it would sort of line up with the same line. That's weird. Okay. And then sort of have this kind of thing going on. And then this one will be a little bit lower. Oh God, what have I done? Okay, I messed something up. That's fine, I'll fix it. I just wish I didn't have to mess stuff up on stream. Alright, so it's moving up. So if it's going backwards, it's gonna move down. Okay. And then hopefully yellowing in this direction will just work, and the gods of animation will smile on me. I would very much like that. Please tell me that works. It didn't work. Oh no. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll figure it out. See, so it's got to end with the thing pointing that way. I already did that. It's got to link up with the thing pointing to the left. Okay. If it's moving forward in time, it's going up. If it's moving backwards in time, it's going down. Okay, cool. Let's try and make that work. Have it line up with the thing going to the left. Forwards in time going up. Cool. I think we might have done it. Or at least like close enough that I can move on from this freaking tennis ball. Let's skip somewhere. Skips right here a little bit. That's okay. Let's put it right in the middle, see if that works. Yeah, it's like, you can see it's kind of like jumping somewhere. Right there. Okay, that's all I have to fix. Just this one frame. This is a struggle stream. All right. Okay, maybe that'll work. You know, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better right now. So let's just roll with that for now. I might be able to clean it up like as we go. And then let's do some magic fire stuff. So this is fire, and fire basically has this pattern where, I mean, real fire, I guess. Real. This is also very stylized. It'll sort of have these S patterns to it. And it'll sort of go up and dissipate and break off into these little shapes as it dissipates. And from an animation perspective, you can almost think about these different forms in here rising and getting smaller as they rise, and then dissipating at the top. So that's basically what we're gonna be doing with this. So yeah. Angel is here. What's up? Wait, I don't see Angela. Can I not read? Oh, what up? How's it going? So we're gonna start with this shape and do like a dark blue. I might drop my my guy back a little bit. Start with this exact shape. I'm gonna make it a little smaller at the bottom. So, the thing you can do with FX animation, sometimes. Oh, this is just what I've done. I don't know if any like effects animators are gonna come in here and scream at me, but I've found that a lot of the time you can do every other frame. So like if these are your frames, you can kind of figure out, especially we're doing things on 2s right now, you can kind of figure out this frame and then this frame and then this frame and then this frame, and you can kind of almost mechanically in between each one of these frames. Also, these look like faces. Hello. You can kind of almost mechanically in between these to kind of like get them to work. It doesn't always work, because anytime you're just mechanically in betweening and you have like a line here, you have a line here, and then you put a line here, it's not, that line's not always there. Sometimes it's part of like an easing in motion, so it needs to be here. Sometimes it's easing in this direction, so it needs to be here. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that like every other frame at first to see if it's working. Did I just join? Did you add anything off stream to the piece? I did. Let me show you. So I just went in and painted into things more. So it did look like this before, and then I went in and I made things a little more desaturated everywhere that was not the focal point. So added some greens and reds and mud basically. And I think it looks okay, but if I had more time to paint, I would probably go in and add more random color variation, like subtle blues and subtle oranges and reds all over the place, just to make it feel less dead in these areas. But yeah, this is kind of what I came up with off stream. So yeah. And now we're animating stuff, and I hope it works out. So in order to see 2 frames ago, I have to set this to 2. Let's go to the 3rd frame, and maybe this is up here now, and this is up here now, and this is starting to form that shape up there, like this. And we'll have this kind of lump thing up here, like this has moved to here, and this shape will move up to here. I forgot the ball actually moved up, so I'm gonna turn off my background layer because that's gonna trip me up. Make sure that this flame is moving with the ball. Alright, and then maybe the next frame, things continue on in this direction. There's a problem, and I can't explain it, but it's in my head. I need to kind of take a step back. So we want to start here and end here, right? So I need to draw the almost like the middle frame to start and end here. So we'll go to this one, and I'm gonna draw it based on 6, 7. So this thing will completely disappear, maybe right here, right? So the middle frame for that would be maybe something right here. This one will completely disappear, maybe right here. So middle frame will be something like that. This will be halfway into turning into that. Which looks something like that maybe. This lump will move to here. Right? This one will move up here. A new lump will start to form. Lump. up here. What's a good, simple first-time animation I can try? A bouncing ball, 100%. I know it sounds a little boring, but bouncing ball is where it's at. And then now I kind of want to take all this and move it up a little bit since the ball is higher. And these back down. Cool. I don't know if this is gonna work. I've never tried to do like FX animation on stream or whatever. Outside of a ball. I mean, the next thing to try is maybe like a walk cycle that's limited to just a torso and legs. That could be kind of nice. Or like a sit to stand. Like a sit to stand's good. So you have your character in a sitting. You have your two main poses. You have your character in a sitting position, and then you have your character in a standing position. Why do I have a shirt on here? I don't want a shirt on here. And then you figure out the breakdown and all the other poses from there. And, oh, what's up, Allie? How's it going, Allie Tane? Alright, so now I'm going to try to get one that's in between those two. Does this need to be on this next frame? Not sure. Paste. Alright, so I'm gonna go into this one and kind of in between this fire and see if that works. This is the way that I do effect stuff when I don't have any time. Like when I'm running out of time on a job. Don't tell any clients that might be watching. Because I think FX animation is so much better to do kind of straight ahead in general. And I'm also trying to figure out a way to explain what I'm doing, which is kind of a challenge, honestly. So let's see. So I'm just doing like halfway in between these different frames. Oh, also Ali is in the chat, who is an amazing animator and an amazing artist in general. So she's probably watching like, what are you doing, Michael? That's not how you do it. All right. Secret safe here. I need to know your secrets. Wait, what secret are we talking about? I feel like I missed a secret here. That's fine. So you can see it's kind of doing magic stuff so far. Duplicate my first frame and put it at the end so I can see where we arrive at. From here. Why did I do that one already? Confusion stream now. Cool. Now this one we can get halfway in between. And And we're going towards this one right here. So let me make sure that I don't break anything. We're coming from here. We're going to there. Turn off this. Alright, I need all my brain power right now. I'm sorry. I can't make a shot. Oh my god, animation really hurts your brain sometimes. So we're going to there. Coming from here. That's easy, okay. I think that that's kind of working. Alright, I'll just start mechanically in betweening and like pray at the same time. So. Going to there, okay. Let's go to this one right here. Looks like this is pretty straightforward, hopefully. Man, I don't know that there's a super good way for me to explain what I'm doing right now other than just figuring out if this is the whole animation. Like if this is the start of the animation, A, and then I'm going back to A, and then there's what is the pose in between that it can transition to and still transition back to A. And then just breaking it down halfway, breaking it down halfway, breaking it down halfway, and then doing that again. So hopefully that makes sense. I think right now we've got it on 2s, which is actually 4s if it's 24 frames a second. Okay, and I have that one frame held, so I need to get rid of that. Okay, so that's kind of where it is at every other frame. And I think I want the bottom to track with it a little bit better. So like, you know, it's the ball itself is illuminating this sort of magic thing around it, or the magic is propelling the ball. So it's gonna stay tighter to the bottom of it. And I like how it is right here. So just, I'll draw in a guide for my background. So it should be about this distance. So anytime it gets more than that distance or less, I'm gonna kind of bring it in a little bit. Oh, I drew it on the wrong layer. So back to my background layer. Just gonna make sure that this makes sense. Maybe I'll just do a stretch it like this, freeform. There we go. So anytime that it breaks that distance, we can go in and fix it. It's like right there, the distance is too long. So just like this bottom part, and then just freeform, transform it up a little bit. That's definitely too long. It's freeform, transform. And remember, this is an animation too, so we can have some ease in on this line. So as it gets closer to the top, it can kind of ease into this position. And also ease out. We don't want to like a very abrupt change. Whoops. So I'm gonna go back up. Maybe it stays right there and then it starts to go down with it. it could press up against the ball a little bit here because the ball's in movement, and then start to settle into that same relationship of distance. Cool, so that should do what we needed to do. It's still a little tight on the top, so I might try and fix that. And then this one's lagging a little too much. And then up. Yeah, that's too much. Too much compression. So I'm gonna bring that back down. Okay, hopefully that works. That looks okay, right? Is this the same principles you follow when doing anything that loops like a walk cycle? Sort of. With a walk cycle though, like I rely on Richard Williams a lot. So I look at the poses that he outlined as the critical, crucial crucial poses for animating a walk cycle. And what he says in his books, he's like one of the best animators and animation teachers, is that there are a few poses, the one being the contact, which is where your foot first makes contact in a walk. It's called contact. So bam, contact. That's like one of the most important poses in the walk cycle. And then so you figure out the contact for the, let's say that this is the left foot, and then you figure out the contact for the right foot as well. And then similar to what I'm doing here, where this A might be the contact, and then this B might be the other contact, like the other foot contact. Other contact. Then this in between is super important in walk cycles, and this is called the breakdown. So that is usually the breakdown in a walk cycle, is where one foot passes the other foot. So like this. Let me put a head on. So I put this R right here, that's not right. So this is the first contact into the first breakdown, and then it would go to the second contact, R contact. And then once you have that figured out, yeah, the survival guide, yeah. That's the book. So then once you have the contact and the breakdown and the other contact figure out, then in the walk cycle there is usually after the contact, you usually take weight. So after you've taken weight, this is all like drawn all over the place, but basically your foot will take weight and you will go down a little bit, like the walk will go down a little bit. So you'll have a down pose, down. And then after the passing pose, you sort of go up on your foot a little bit, right? And then you have, that's an awful up pose, but you have an up pose. So it's basically the same thing where you try and identify what is the start, what is the end, what's the middle, and then how do I break it down in between into smaller and smaller steps. And because human locomotion is so complicated, doing this same approach but having a really solid guide like Richard Williams is probably the best way to learn a walk cycle. So yeah, I don't know, does that answer the questions about like breaking down animation stuff for loops? If you're animating like a walk in a scene, you're not necessarily gonna have like a walk cycle. Like it's gonna be different, and it's gonna be interspersed with like acting and stuff. So a walk cycle is just good to like get the general feeling of the way a character walks, but it's not always the most useful to like animate in a scene, you know? Because if you're animating a scene that has like storytelling and stuff, you just have someone like rigidly walking in a cycle, that doesn't really say much. But It might be like walking and looking around and gesticulating, you know. So yeah. Do I ever use timing charts? Yes, but I'm not really like traditionally trained traditional animator. So I really just only use timing charts when I get in trouble or when I need to like figure out something that is very complicated and I need to stay grounded. Then I'll use timing charts, and I definitely don't write them correctly. So if any like legit old school animator was to see my timing charts, they'd be like, that's wrong. So yeah, I definitely have used them though. I think that for me they're the best when I can figure out something logically, and all I have to do is add like a bit of creativity and a bit of design and like prettiness to it, or like a bit of fun and artistic stuff to it. So then I use the timing charts to put down what I have logically in my head and then follow along. You had a mentor yell at you for your timing charts? Oh man. Yeah, well, those guys take their animation timing charts seriously, and that's fine. That's totally fine. It's serious business, especially if you're working on a job and you're throwing out some bogus looking timing charts. You know, no one's gonna know what's up with them. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, I would say the majority of my 2D animation work, though, has been on jobs where people don't necessarily know or appreciate or need timing charts. So I've never been in a position where I really need them. So where does this go? Okay. And then I bring the first frame back around to the end to make sure that I'm doing this last in between correctly. Cool. Alright, let's check this out. Oh wait, I gotta delete the last, the doubled up frame. So there's that thing. It's kind of interesting. I feel like the magic's moving a little bit slow, but I don't really have time to do this again, so so you know. Yeah, if I was, oh, there's one frame where it goes blank for a sec. Oops. If I was animating this on my own, I would redo the speed of everything and try and make it seem more flame-like. But because we're doing this live, I'm just gonna go with this. And just go with it. I like how the ball's moving faster than the magic. Cool. I think when the magic's moving that slow, it almost feels like liquid or viscous or something. It doesn't feel like fire. That's just my perspective. Yeah, but that's fine. Well, I'll just go with it like this. I want to touch. Now that you draw for a living, the work you do gives you the same happiness which your own project gave you 5 years back. I don't know what you're saying right there. Goopy Flame looks beautiful. All right, we're gonna go with Goopy Flame. So what else do we want to animate? Looking at our scene. And we can actually animate a few things, but I also want to make sure we have time to paint the animation. So definitely gonna paint her hair, or animate her hair. Let's get all these notes out of here. Be gone, notes. I'm not a fan of this song. Skip. Yeah. Alright, so let's figure out the hair. I wonder if I should do this in a different file. No, I'm gonna do it on the same one just because it's not very smart, but I'm gonna do it on the same set of layers. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn all these off and then animate her hair and then merge them. And then hopefully it's also 14 frames long, but also here, one. I wonder if I duplicate it, but also it doesn't really matter. Because we're gonna put this in After Effects later anyways, and we can make this like a minute long if we want to. So 8 frames for now. Let's try that. I'll make her hair purple. Pardon me, my English is a big week. Oh no, it's totally fine. I just I didn't really understand the question so much. How do you stream, animate, and play the keyboard at the same time, Tom? It's very difficult, but when this hand is like touching my face, actually this hand's playing the keyboard, and when I'm drawing, this hand's playing the keyboard. So you just have to get used to like switching off. But you know, if you practice enough, you get it. I actually do have a MIDI keyboard, like a MIDI controller back there, but I'm terrible at playing music. I just do it as like a hobby type of thing. So, originally my idea was that, yeah, I spent 5 hours and got that far. I wouldn't show you how proud I am of a little floating magic. He plays it with his feet, right? That's true. Yeah, I'm playing the drums with my feet though. So, you didn't know that. You can't see my feet right now. So I was. Oh, damn it. I dropped my pencil. So I was thinking that the magic would be powerful enough that it is blowing her hair back, but I think that that's a little bit silly. So maybe it's just like the hair's sort of resting and then it just goes like. So resting means that there's like a sort of paused state to it, and then it just sort of picks up a little bit. So maybe I need to redraw this a little bit to put the hair, fix this, to put the hair resting. So maybe that would look like this. And hopefully this doesn't like ruin this design of these shapes and stuff here. But it could. That's what I get for designing while I animate. Not a good idea, really. It's the reason why the steps are separate. So maybe like that. That doesn't look too bad. I don't think I broke the design too much. Let me see if I cover up this part right here. Like just cover up the part that's painted. Does that still work? I think it still works. Okay, cool. In the ball, you also have to animate the dog's hair since it's more close to the ball. That's true. And I should really animate his tail going like back and forth too. But you know, I can actually cheat that in After Effects, so I don't really want to do that. It would have to flap in the wind a little bit. You know what though? Like actually for his hair, he's far enough away that you don't actually see the hair. If this was a full-on animation production, yeah, you could like have little lines going through the hair. Yeah, and you could do all kinds of stuff like that. I'm just gonna make her hair being blown for no reason other than this is an animation demo. And I want to. So, you know what, from a design perspective though, this and this are very similar, like these two curves. So how do we fix that? I think we make this one a little bit longer. Like so. And then make this one a little bit shorter. So they're two different size shapes now. And then maybe you bring this back to being a little more like this shape right here. There we go. And I'm just gonna clean this up and like erase out a little bit because it's getting a little messy. Cool. Now we're just gonna make the hair sit and then sit. So I think it's gonna sit for like 4 frames. 4 frames. And then it's gonna go over like maybe like 6 to 8 frames. I'm gonna move, hold, move. So I'm gonna call this one 1 to 4. In Procreate, you can just hold frames. So I'm gonna make sure that this one is held for 3 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then our next frame is going to be 5. I'll call this 6. And 4 plus 8 is what? Maybe we can make it 14. 4 plus 10. Maybe we'll make it 10 long. We'll try that. 8. Oh, I need to name this hair. That doesn't matter. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe that'll work. Maybe I'll have to make less or more frames. I don't really know. We'll see. $12 math. If you guys are giving me any numbers, I have no idea. And yes, I would like to do her skirt as well, but we are gonna run out of time if I do that. Maybe I'll do it off stream. So I'm just gonna do a couple elements for on stream. But I'm gonna take a little break right now and talk to everyone. So how's everyone's Lightbox going today? What's the best panel so far? Really interesting how you consider design stuff as well as animation stuff in the hair. I think as a 2D animator, you do have to be respectful of the design. So like, you're gonna, if you're a 2D animator on a show, you're gonna get a model sheet with a bunch of I have 2 11s. Oh, really? All right, goodbye. You're gonna be on a show with a bunch of with a bunch of designs that are already made, and they'll show the character from the front, from the side, and how they smile and how they frown and all the rest. And you know, you have to be really respectful of those designs as you're doing your 2D animation, and usually there's a person on a 2D show that keeps everything on model. So they'll go through and correct the 2D animation, say like, oh, it's off model here, it's off model there. So I think if you can, as a 2D animator, if you can keep the design in mind, then that makes everyone else's job a lot easier. Lightbox is gonna extend to the whole month just because of all the content to chew on. That's true. For all the ones that are there for like on lightboxexpo.com forever, like I'm definitely gonna go through and watch some of this stuff, especially when like I have some downtime from work and I'm like feeling a little like I need some inspiration. Have you worked for a TV show cartoons before? Yeah, but not doing animation, just doing viz dev. Animation that I've done for jobs has mostly been commercial or promotional or like film title stuff, like the Christopher Robin movie. Have you guys seen Christopher Robin? There's a bunch of 2D animation in the beginning of like Christopher Robin and Pooh like holding hands and walking, and like Tigger bouncing in and stuff like that. I did that stuff. So and then I'm trying to think of this other 2D animation stuff I did. There is, I just can't think of it right now. So, but I've never worked on a show, like on a cartoon. And I think that's because the majority of the animation jobs are more closer to storyboarding jobs, and I don't consider myself to be like a really good storyboard artist. So, yes. Yeah. I worked on the live movie. Yeah, there's like an animated intro type of thing. So to get this like wave whip motion thing, you just mic drop at this point. Yeah, it was a pretty cool job. I wasn't the only 2D animator on it. I worked with my friend EJ. I worked with a few other people, but I was responsible for figuring out how to figure out how to get that style of like pen and ink drawings to work in animation, and then I also ended up animating a few of those scenes as well. It was a really fun job, and I really wanted to like include it in like my Domestika lesson thing, but I couldn't get the rights to be like, yeah, I worked for Disney on this thing. So yeah, I'm not allowed to actually like show it in that context. So I'm simplifying this whole shape into one thing so that I can just animate the bloop, the whole bleh, and then I'll put the waves and stuff back into it. So I'm just gonna make this whole like sort of sock thing that I just drew go like that. So this is frame one. Probably don't even need that frame. So we'll just start to make it pick up a little bit on this top part right here. Maybe even less. Trying to send a little bit of a wave through this hair. And next one will be right here. Make sure that I have lots of onion skins on for those. So we're gonna send the wave a little further back. And then maybe start to pick it up a lot more, like right here. See how that works. And then maybe it lifts up a little bit right here, and then it really starts to fly up. And then, wait, let me make sure that I settle in the same kind of position. I'll put this at the end. Yeah, I don't want to get too far off. And then we will start to come back down a little bit. I might need more frames here. And then, yeah, I do need more frames. Oh, I have one. Nice. I love frames. Okay. And then maybe when it hits, there's a little bit of like a squish or something. Squeech. Oh, I should say too that title animation thing I did for Christopher Robin, that was at this studio called Elastic, which is a great studio that I worked at for a long time, and those are good peoples. Need another something sort of in between here, and then maybe a squish frame, like where it just sort of squishes a little bit. Let's see how that works. It looks like it's got a life of its own a little bit. It looks like a weird worm or something. So I don't know if that works super well. Let's see. So what did I miss in chat while I was like making this worm? Squeeze and bloop are important technical terms. That's true. Adding a little bit of flicker wave to the stick's leaf. Yeah, that's true. I'll probably also do that in After Effects though. I wonder if I'm overthinking this, if I should just make the hair do... Maybe it's the long pause that's making it weird. Try taking off this whole duration. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just go ahead with that. I don't have enough time to overthink this stuff, so I'm just gonna go for it. That's probably a benefit of streaming, is you can just like not overthink stuff too much. Alright, so the wave starts to move her hair a little bit in this direction. And then starts to move out this way. And then if this does look super off and weird, I'll probably redo it, but I'm hoping that this is like passable for at least for this this demo. And if it is, then I'll just roll with it. Oh, I missed a frame. That's fun. So it looks like this reaches the end of its ease out, and then set this to 1 frame. I am concentrating right now. Look at the chat in just a second. Is the music a little faint for everyone? So let's get that as an in-between. Get a little bit of squish right here. So it starts to come down a little bit. Okay. Oh, what the hell? I'm still trying to figure out how to work this new iPad. Feel like a boomer. Okay. Profanity. Oh, what did I say? Did I swear? Profanity. My bad. I'm sorry for... Alright, so hopefully this looks good. We'll see right now if it does. Was it a success? Did I waste my time? Find out next week on I animated something. Yeah, okay, just I think it doesn't need the pause at all, so let's get rid of that pause. Yeah, okay, that's working okay. I think it's good enough for a demo. How many frames do we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, 11 and 14. 11, 12. 13, 14. It seems a little slow on that end, so I'll take that off of here and I'll put it on the up right here. That looks weird too. Works okay. Would love to have such voluminous, floofy hair. Trying to decide which iPad to buy. I don't know. I had the older one, the one from like 3 years ago, forever. But then, it did not survive. So, like the battery started dying on it. So I had to get a new one. Otherwise, I'd still be using that old one. So definitely the iPad Pro. I'm gonna fill in these frames with drawings just so that duplicate and clear this. Just so that I have the same number of drawings for both animations. I can put them in the same folders and stuff. Duplicate and clear it. Alright, so turn on onion skins again. Just make sure that this is an in-between now. If there's anything I'm just breezing over with Procreate animation, let me know and I'll explain it. If you need to upgrade, definitely wait till next year for everything to be optimized for the M1 chip. That's true. It did not survive. I don't know what happened. The battery stopped charging one day. And not just one day, it stopped charging the day before, or the few days before I needed to finish this like brush set, my sketchbook brushes, and put them out into the world. So I was like, oh no, Lightbox is in 2 days and I can't figure out my battery. So I had to upgrade like right before Lightbox. That was really stressful. But it's okay. These numbers don't make any sense now, by the way. I did not want to spend money on an iPad, but that's how it goes sometimes. Cool. So now I think this will, at the very least, look smooth. Let's look at it from far away. Yeah, she's got cool hair that's just sort of jumping around. It's not ideal, like the goopy flame, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go forward. Let's see here. Mine was 2018. Yeah, I think mine was 2018 too. Would you recommend any fun exercises for improving drawing? Yeah, I'd recommend just drawing from life. So observational drawing is amazing because if something's right in front of you, like if I'm drawing this thing, I can draw it and then I can see where my proportions were different. If I want to know, if I want to be accurate, or I can see where I design things differently if I want to design. I think drawing from nature is really good too, because nature offers like infinite abilities to observe and arrive at something. So if I grab like a branch from a tree, like don't go breaking any branches off any trees, but if you look at it, you can look at the overall shape that the leaves make on it. You can look at the individual leaves. You can go in and look at the veins in the leaves. Like there's so much complexity in nature to like learn from. And I think drawing from anything from life informs everything else from life, because it's all the same life stuff, It's all the same reality that you're observing. Drawing figures is especially helpful though, because, well, one, it's a thing that you draw, it's a thing that we mostly draw as illustrators, and as animators you end up drawing like some sort of humanoid type something. And so I think it's very important and very helpful to draw like life drawing from like either cafes, or if you can find like some of those like life drawing line of action posed library things, that's pretty good too. Where does it say which iPad do you have? I think you can look at that in the settings somewhere. Let me name all these just so I don't hate my life later. And we've been at this for what, an hour and a half? Hair 1, hair 2, hair 3. Cool, so now we just have to color all this stuff. Hair 4, hair 5. And I'm really happy because I'm actually going to be on track for what I want to do, which is show everybody compositing in After Effects after this. Hair 8. Tomorrow. Hair 9. Hair 10. Hair 11. Hair 11. 12. Hair 13. I started thinking about animating these sparkles and I forgot how to count. Hair 14. So now I'm gonna group these. You know what? You're gonna watch me rename these to 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. So now if I turn these all back on, all these fire tennis ball layers, you can see that one plays and then the next plays. So that's not actually ideal. We want them to be playing together. So in Procreate, one frame, a group will be read as a frame. So if you, if I go like this and then I hit group, they'll be grouped into one frame. So I'm gonna select the 2s and group. I'm gonna select the 3s and group. It's a little tedious, but that's okay. So is animation sometimes. 5 and group. And then you'll see our beautiful animation playing simultaneously. 6 in group, 7 and group, 8 in group, 9 in group, 10, 11, 12, almost done. My brain gets so sad whenever I do repetitive things like this. Okay, there we go. All right, so now they're both going at the same time. Yay, we did it. All right, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see both animations happening. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see, we're looking for a way to do more study sessions, Michael's Discord, if you want some buddies to do exercises with. Yeah, you can definitely stop by the Discord. I want to go through the live stream Michael put together last year with Jurgen. Yeah. Yeah, you guys want more Apple Pencil ASMR right now? It's nice, isn't it? All right, I won't make mouth noises. That's weird. Sorry. Just got caught up for a minute. Cool. So we have stuff to paint in. I'm gonna combine all these down a little bit. So that they're like one layer and make my life a little bit easier. Do you guys know this this thing you can do in Procreate? You can just go like this, beep, like tap and then pinch to put 2 layers together. So right now I'm doing that. I'm going like this, beep, on the merging. Yeah, it's merging. It's amazing, right? I just learned this, so oh shoot, don't do it like that though. I just learned this, so I'm pretty happy about it. I used to do it you know, the long way. Magic merging. Yeah, pinching layers is a pretty good mechanic. Okay, so now what we have to do is paint this stuff, which should be really fun. I'm gonna put in a little guide for where her hair ends so that I don't paint too far. So let me see where the animation goes up to. Okay, I don't really want to paint. I don't really want to paint here. Let me make it brighter. I don't need to paint this, because this is attached to her head. So this will not be painted. It can, my animation can overlap this a little bit, but this is going to remain static basically. Wow, she's got a big head. That's fine. So that's where her head, maybe I can connect it through here to make it look less silly. So let me just draw what she looks like underneath. Okay, So that's the part that's gonna remain still, and then the head afterwards. Where are we in this list? Are you laughing at me saying she has a big head? Maybe I bring this down, the top of it down a little bit, so that I can have more of the top of this thing animating. All right, that's the part I need to paint for her, and that's the part that remains static. So I just need to remember that. Okay, and then I need to know what colors I'm gonna paint with. So, oh, what am I doing? So I'm gonna grab this layer right here, and I'm going to duplicate it and make it completely opaque so I can grab my colors. And then I just basically need this color. And then I also just need this color right here. So invert that and clear it. And so now I'm going to put these little guides off to the side so that I have something to color sample. Put this here and put this here. Cool. Am I going to keep the little walking animation layer up? I could. Is it bothering anybody? I can get rid of it. What do you guys say? It just, if anyone was to stop by the stream, this looks like I know what I'm talking about, so I kind of like having it up. It adds legitimacy. Maybe. So now we need a painted layer below our line layer, and I'm just gonna make a bunch of layers and put them below. It looks like I'm a teacher or like a professional or something when I do that. So I'll leave that up so that anyone can stop by the stream and be like, whoa, what are these graphs? He must know what he's talking about. I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay. Making a bunch of layers. I'm wondering right now if it'd be better to do this with a super textural brush or a somewhat textural brush. Like, I think my options right now are doing this painting layer with, I think I used thick paint to paint her hair, so I might stick to that. And because these brushes have color randomness on it, they'll like change subtly each time. That's okay for the animation because the change will just give it a little bit of texture. So I just need to remember to sample from the same place every time. So let's pick this right here as the place to sample. I'll put this right here on this layer. So I'm always gonna sample from this color right here. And then for these guys, I'm always gonna sample from here. Here and here. Oh, that's not right. All right, and then last step, a little annoying, I'm gonna set these layers to multiply, but that's fine. It'll just make it so that no matter what color I put underneath my my line layer, it'll still show up pretty good. Somebody tell me a story in chat. I'll listen while I do this. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I can't listen. Somebody call me. Tell me a story while I do this. I'll put my phone number in chat. All right. What did one wall say to the other wall? What did one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you in the corner. Hey. I want to drop the opacity of all these too, so I got to get more jokes out there. Um, I would tell a dad joke, but I don't have any kids. That would totally make me a faux pas. Yeah, a faux pas. Okay. What else? What other dad jokes do we have? Actually, I think those are like my 2 jokes. Like, that's it. I don't have any more jokes. I'm a fraud. Oh no, that was a joke. Yeah, that was the joke. It's very meta. The joke is in the telling of the joke. Okay. I literally laughed. Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants? Because he got a hole in one. Hey. Oh, I love it. Alright, so let me actually just turn on that layer. Alright, so now we're gonna paint her hair. Frame by frame. Wow, my iPad's super hot right now. It's like burning my hand. So if the stream just like shuts down, you know why. The iPad's like set my house on fire. I'm gonna make sure to get this curve in there. This color variation is a little bit too much for this, but I'm just gonna leave it for now, and hopefully it's not terrible. Because we're taking this into After Effects, I can take a solid color that is just this and matte it over the top of the whole thing, and then when I do that, it can reduce the color variation. So it's not something we have to worry about too much right now. Mainly just making a textured shape. Oh, and also the makes me look like a professional thing from earlier. I was just leaning into that, you know, imposter syndrome joke that, you know, most people have. Oh, right, the headband. I'll just avoid the headband for now, because I'm not I didn't think about the headband when I was animating, so that's my bad. I'll just avoid it. Am I choosing the right color right now? Jeez. Man, that color variation's wild. Whatever. I got an idea. Does anyone from Discord want to come in and hang out and tell me a story while I'm doing this? Or just chat? Meme Lord? Are you lonely, Michael? I mean, who isn't lonely in these times? A little bit. Can't see too many people. Travel's restricted. But nah, I'm alright. I'm in a good spot. Thank you for asking. Colin, are you gonna come join the? Yeah, Colin, you wanna come join and hang out for a minute while I do this painting? I need a confirmation before I can just do it. I don't want to just throw you in the fire. How do you forcibly throw? I mean, if you're a mod, you can just move people into voice. They have to be in a voice channel to begin with. I'm getting my headset. Oh, I asked the person with the most audio technical difficulties. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, so with this new fancy Apple Pencil, I set double tap to be color sampling, but I keep accidentally doing it, so I might turn that off. I'm in. Okay, here, let me. Yeah. General voice. Put you to on-stream voice. What up, dude? Can you? Oh, I'm gonna disable streamer mode. Can you hear me? Can I hear you? I can't hear you. Can't hear him. Yeah, I can't hear you. Ali, try saying something. Ali, can you try saying something so I can see if it's my Discord or if it's like my stream setup? Yeah, I can't hear anyone for on-stream voice. Oh, I can't hear Ali either. I'm not smart enough to figure this out, honestly. Here, I'm gonna try something else really quick. Hello. I can't hear you. Damn it. I think it's has to do with when the like particular audio inputs I have set up. So let me just this might be a lost cause. It might be something that I need to troubleshoot like a different time. Hello? Hello? Okay, let me try this. What about now?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, I can hear you. Can stream hear it, Colin?
Hello? Oh no, delay! I hear myself on stream.
Okay, you might just need to mute the stream then. Let me see if I can add. Okay, I'm gonna go to the voice disc chat because Ali wanted to join too. I'll be right back. All right, so Colin, Ali, join any voice chat move you in. I'll turn him down a little bit if he's too loud.
Hello?
Hello, Ali.
Oh, hello. I need to go ahead and mute the stream, so I'm not getting the double audio. Colin!
Oh yeah, and
Hello!
if you guys want to be in here, you know, if you don't, I just want something more entertaining. Like we can hang out and chat while I'm doing this because I can't read chat.
We need
so well.
entertainment.
I'm
Yeah.
not very
We need
entertaining.
entertainment. I feel like Colin's really good. No! Oh, Angela! Get Angela in here now.
Yeah, Angela, you gotta
The
join.
most entertaining.
Angela, join any.
I can't tell
voice
if my
chat.
feelings are hurt now.
No. You're the meme lord. That's entertainment. But, you know, when it comes to stream, we got to get our experts in here.
Yeah.
True.
Which would be Angela and probably Carmen.
Yeah.
Look, Mom, I'm famous. I'm on YouTube.
I mean, we're with the person that did the animated sequence from Christopher Robin. I'd say that, yeah, we're not famous.
That guy.
True, you run IMDb and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hello?
Hey, what's
Hello.
Oh.
up? Hey, let me check with YouTube chat. How's the? I mean, half of YouTube chat's in the voice call right now. How's the audio levels for everything? Chat.
I'm always loud. Probably loud.
I'm like individually adjusting it for my computer, for my desktop.
Oh, I
audio.
see.
Yeah.
I should probably talk or something.
Just
Audio's
down.
Hello?
Actually, could everyone
Hello.
talk at the same time, please?
Okay, so we're talking.
I am singing.
Our guests are too loud,
Oh,
so we should
goodness.
probably we should adjust it so that our mics are a little bit lower.
No, I get it. Everyone is
You got it?
louder than Michael. Everyone cannot. I have to be the loudest. I should
Oh
just.
god.
scream. All right, I'll put you guys right here.
You just
Dad
have
has-
you have very enthusiastic guests.
Dad has to be the loudest.
Dad has to be the loudest. No, I want it to be balanced. So how about now? Everyone scream. Everyone talk at the same time.
Oh
Everyone
god.
scream.
I don't what do we even talk about? Also, Michael, just want to say this has been extremely educational, just like watching you do all of this.
Yeah, thank you. Glad
All
to.
the
Yeah.
animation stuff is
It looks
just super
beautiful.
cool to see. Yeah, dude.
I'm glad
Going along.
that it's good. I forgot my camera's on still. This is weird. I'm like it's two experiences that I have. Like I have experience streaming and I have experience hanging out with you guys in voice chat, but I've never done it at the same time. So like my
Together.
brain's trying to be like
It's a crossover episode.
what it is.
I bet it's like kind of jarring too, because there's a certain degree of like you're still live on your like Lightbox stream,
Yeah.
and there are people who might be coming in here and then just walking into a bunch of friends just chit chatting and shooting the shit,
Yeah.
and they're expecting like, I came here to learn a thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, like
But
all
this-
the Bubby Chew panels are that way too.
That's true. This is fair.
But to be fair, anyone who comes in the next like 30 minutes is just gonna see me painting the same shape over and over again. There's not a ton to learn there. So.
But
Slightly different.
That's animation though. Also, I think like something that's really valuable that I didn't really think about when I was watching your stream is just actually seeing you do all of this stuff in real time is very refreshing, because for me personally, like I always feel like I have to do everything quickly,
Yeah.
and it's stressful when projects take a while. So like
Mhm.
seeing you work on this one small thing and it taking you the whole weekend to do
Mhm.
is like, oh, this is a very valuable reality check.
Oh, dude, I'm happy to hear that. I actually remember. You remember those Nomen DVDs? Like this is old school. So, but back before there were too many online like resources, there were these Nomen DVDs. So it was like GNOMMAN.
Oh, Nomon.
Nomen.
Yes, yeah, they are the one. They're actually a Lightbox sponsor, I think.
Amazing.
Something.
I
Yes,
took one
last
class there a few years back, but anyways, they had these DVDs. They're at my school at Art Center, and all like the cool like concept artist kids would like watch these DVDs after their classes and like level up their get their EXP and stuff. And
Yeah.
I looked and I watched a couple, and it was all like sped up, like super fast Photoshop
Yeah.
stuff. And so my dumb student brain was like, that's how fast I need to paint. Like I need to
Yeah.
paint at these time lapse speeds. And
Yeah,
which
it's
is
really interesting.
totally
It's-
unrealistic.
Yeah, it is really interesting because we're in this period now, right, of education where so much of the information you want is readily available either behind a paywall or for free. But like one of the big popular art trends is all these time-lapse videos, and on the one hand it's really cool to see processes. On the other hand, it does run the risk of like kind of implying to a lot of new folks like, oh, I need to be able to work this quickly and all of this. And it's like, nah, dude, actually, they're able to work this quickly. One, because it's sped up. Two, they have leagues of experience.
Yeah.
That like are contributing to why they can make smarter decisions and why they have more confident lines and why they know how to do certain things with color and light. You don't.
There is this interview with from the Oatly School of. I forgot what the name was, but it's like Chris Oatly's academy that he made a while back, and he had an interview, a podcast episode or something, with Justin Rodriguez. Do you know that guy? He's a character designer.
I'm looking all this stuff up and putting it in chat. That's the Oatly Academy of Visual Storytelling. That one.
Yes, I don't know if it was called that back when I was watching it, but he had an interview Academy with Justin Rodriguez. Who's a character designer that I love. I have one of his pieces on my wall right there, but I can't take it down because it's sort of glued to the wall a little bit. And
have to take the wall with you.
He had this story about that related to that, where he was talking about how he just wanted to get his work to a certain level when he was first looking for jobs, and then so he spent like 10 times longer than he should have on this piece of like it was like a building painting or design where he's designing like all the little shops and signs and windows and things like that. And he said like he'd never spend that long on something now, but because he was just trying to get it to a certain level, he really pulled out all the stops and just spent a ton of time on this one thing. And I thought that was really cool to see that this reality that it can take longer or shorter depending on all these different factors.
I'm curious to know, like, between everybody on the call and like people in chat, like what's the most like important piece of learning that you've picked up from anything that you've checked out at Lightbox? Because I think like for me the most relevant thing has really been the stress on focus has been repeated like at pretty much like everything that I've checked out in Lightbox, like focusing on whether it's building one particular foundational skill or like focusing on this is the field that I want to be experimenting with right now, so I'm going to be doing a lot of animation and focusing on animation. Like that's what I want to be doing. Like I'm really curious because I feel like everybody is picking up really different things, especially like depending on where they're at with their creative journey. So
that kind of touches on like I think he said it at Lightbox last year where he was talking about like you can only spread your skill points so far. So it's like
wait, Colin, you just faded off into
Mike.
Sorry. Sorry, it's
put
my
the
mic.
Put the microphone in your mouth.
Yeah, it's in my mouth now. Okay,
good.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about. I think you said it last year at Lightbox Expo. How you can only like spread your skill points like so far across certain things. So it's like having that focus definitely really helps, especially when you're starting out or trying to find a job or portfolio. Like even I run through that trouble a lot where I'm like, do I want to be a character designer? Do I want to do storyboarding? Do I want to like should I make a portfolio for all these things? But then you hear all these people talking like, no, make sure these people know what you want to be doing. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's the wanting part is key. Like if you can identify what you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is hard for if you like so many things.
Yeah.
Earlier,
that gave me...
I was in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Angela.
No, I was just gonna say that like when I had a conversation with Michael like a week ago, because I was having like a really hard time like trying to figure out like what the hell do I practice, because like Colin said, like, do I want to do animation? Do I want to do storyboarding? Do I want to do viz dev? All this stuff. It's so overwhelming to like, one, have to choose, and then two, once you've chosen, even within that little pocket, like even within animation, there's like a million skill sets to learn, right? So it gets really overwhelming, like being asked the question, like, what do you want? It's like, I want everything and I don't want to suffer.
Well, another thing that
That's the
helps
best
make me
summary.
feel better is how many of these artists in the industry are actually jumping between different jobs, you know?
Oh yeah.
So it's not like you actually have to like choose now.
Right. But to get your foot in the door though, right? Like
Yes,
you have
yes.
to
You have to be a
be
specialist.
able, yeah, you have to be able to present to whoever you're applying to that like I have passion and drive for this particular field,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to learn more by working with you. So anyway,
That's capitalism.
yep. Ali, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you saying?
Well,
Yeah.
before Ali goes, can you guys all drop your Instagram links or whatever relevant social art links in the chat, just for anyone? I'm pretty sure it's mostly just people from the Discord, anyways, in the chat. But just in case anyone else wants to check out you guys' stuff.
God.
Yes.
Oh
If
gosh.
you want-
oh gosh.
If you want to, you don't have to.
Get me famous.
Oh boy. I mean, what do I even have on there right now? Now I gotta check. Like, is my did I clean up my house for my guests?
Did I clean up my
All
house?
this stuff is beautiful. Angela, your Instagram is beautiful. You're
Oh
fine.
goodness.
Yes,
oh,
it is.
goodness. You're beautiful and you're
Well,
fine.
also, no pressure, and you can do it later, and you don't have to do it. I'm just saying that just so everyone knows who's talking.
Who's who? Okay, fine. I'll be brave. One of the important things I've learned this Lightbox weekend is to be open to humiliation because it just helps you grow. So let's do it.
You only
We all
yell at
love
once.
you. We all love you.
You do only yellow ones.
So yeah, what I was gonna say earlier actually had to go back to the point about just like learning what you want. I was in the environmental art panel earlier. It was so good.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question of like, oh my gosh, this is intimidating for me. I don't know how to do this. And he was like, okay, you don't have to though. Like getting a base is one thing, but
Yeah.
if you legitimately don't enjoy environment art, sure, learn the basics, do studies, but you don't, like if you want to do characters, do characters. You
Yeah.
don't have to have all of the skills. Like that's not
Mhm.
how this works. And that also goes back to the first panel I attended, which was talking about understanding appeal. And I
Yeah.
love the point there of like, appeal changed so much depending on the art pieces she was going over. Some of
Yeah.
them were environmental, some of them were characters, some of them were very 2D, other ones were like, 3D renders. But all of it had appeal. And she said that, first off, try to create appeal with what you already know.
Yeah.
You're not gonna grow by constantly feeling that deficiency in yourself.
Mhm.
And you can create appealing art. You have the ability to. So enjoy that. And then you're going to constantly, like, your eye is going to get better, your hands are going to get better, you're going to be improving. But, like, listening to professionals talk about finding what they like and learning to, like, really work on it. So many people talk about, the grind and how you have to work every hour of the day. I really think that's not healthy.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if it's something you enjoy, and this really is, like, where you get your vibe for life comes from that thing, then like, I think that's why, like, we feel like you have to force yourself into this art that you don't want to create, when in fact there are lots of areas. There's like, don't feel guilty. Like for me, I like creating cute anime.
Yeah.
I shouldn't feel guilty about it.
No,
I
absolutely
like.
not.
Yeah, this ties in really well too because like so we all found each other around Lightbox last year. And when I was going into Lightbox last year, my brain was like, picture books. Everything kid lit related. I want to study it. I want to ingest it. Everything about children's lit I need to know about because this is what I'm really interested in. And like thanks to that focus, like I was able to kind of learn a lot of stuff and draw a lot of stuff related to that field. And I feel like I did grow a little bit in relation to that. But then like kind of later on, it also showed me that like actually I don't know that this is still what I really want to be doing because through this exploratory phase, like it showed you, I was able to see like what I did like about it and then what I didn't like about it. And yeah, and then now it's kind of back to the drawing board of like trying to see like, okay, I like experimented with this. What's next now? What is the next season going to be all about? Is it going to be all about animation? Because goddamn, there's a lot of really good animation education content out there. Or is it something else? And then just like buckling down and making the time to do all of this, all of the legwork, all of the slow burn effort. Just gotta do it. Just gotta sit down and do it. But not sorry. The other thing though about like understanding appeal, it's interesting that talk happened kind of around when I discovered this other guy. Andy J. Pizza is doing this video series with Skillshare, and one of the episodes he talked about was that like everybody has a sense of taste, like what you find appealing, and like learning to know what your taste is about actually helps you find other people with the same taste. And then from there, you can start working your way towards finding people who genuinely like what you're all about. And you can start to refine the work you do because you're working with your particular sense of taste and appealing to all these people who have the same thing in common. And then that way you're not like struggling to do stuff that is completely not in your interests at all, in your wheelhouse at all. I don't know. It's just a lot of really good food for thought popping up because of.
I like that. That's cool to think about. It's like a safety net almost.
Yeah, like just because you can't do, say, Riot level concept art doesn't mean that there's no place for your very simple vectors or whatever,
I think that, Michael and I were talking about this the other day, just like how good Hey Kala is, and I downloaded her art book and sketchbook, and it's just a few lines. It's so simple, and yet I can't get enough of it. It makes me feel the way I want the way I want the art to make me feel, the way I want art that I make to make other people feel.
Hey Kala too.
Complicated.
She's a perfect example of like what you were saying, where you're like, I want to draw cute anime. Like, Hey Kala's like, I want to draw, these particular subjects that are also very cute and that like in that same wheelhouse. And that's all. Not that she's like limited or anything, but like she definitely draws what she likes, and only that. And she's built like this amazing personal
body of work, right?
Yeah, like this person, woman, like independent artist, sort of like, like her art is the product, as opposed to like, if you're working at studios, like, your art is like sort of like a means to an end sometimes.
Yeah, it's part of a
like
machine versus your own thing.
Yeah,
she's like her own voice.
Yeah, and that comes from her just being like, this is what I like, and I'm gonna do this all the time. And I imagine, that there was probably a point. Actually, I'm just making this up, but I imagine that for most people who try and go their own path and do their own thing, that there's probably a point where you're like, oh shit, is this even gonna work? Like, is this going anywhere? But like, I don't know if she had that, because I'm just guessing, but like, if she did at any point, it definitely paid off, eventually, because she's like internationally recognized, or like at least recognized very highly in the art community. So
it really is interesting, because we're in this point where I feel like so many artists online, and I think we've talked about this before, like there's this kind of perception that artists online, in order for them to like get really big, you have to not just be like the artist you're trying to be, but you also have to be a content creator. And people don't realize that there is such a different skill set you need to be a content creator, making content based on your art, versus just being an artist with an online presence.
Oh yeah, on that subject, I want to ask: did anybody see the Sam Does Art?
A little bit. I got to catch a little bit.
An hour.
Oh, you caught a little bit of it?
Most of it, actually, yeah.
Oh,
I caught a little bit of it. Yeah.
What? How did that go? Because he's an example of someone who's really, really good at content creation and making art. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
It was,
did you get from that?
It was good. It was a Q&A, mostly Q&A. So he had like his introductory video, and then it went into the Q&A section with Wacom. I felt like a lot of the audience members were younger, so they were asking things about like identity and what do you do when people are like bullying you in the comments.
Yeah.
His focus was really more on like whenever he had a chance to speak, it was focused on like he figured out what worked for him. He didn't want the algorithm to rule his life. So even though like I consider him the most content aware of a lot of the people I follow, like he knows how to make Instagram work for him.
Yeah.
He was talking the entire time about how like everyone's saying to go to Reels right now on Instagram because that's the path forward.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't change your entire trajectory to match a trend. Because if you don't enjoy that and you're completely like pivoting to change the way you do art, it's not going to feel authentic and genuine. And he's really into creating art that is authentic to him. That really makes him feel like he's growing. So he used to do fan art and he's transitioned more into original art that captures a feeling, that captures a mood.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you use so much of his art on like the lo-fi vibe videos.
Yeah.
Because everyone can tell he's going for that feeling.
Oh, that's so insightful.
But there was a lot of restraint actually in the way he talked about his social media presence, just like grounding yourself with people in real life, but then also like trying to keep yourself accountable to a schedule. It was really good.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I'm bummed that I missed that.
It's on forever though. I think
Probably it's a Wacom. It's like a YouTube thing.
Yeah,
nice.
I think I walked into the panel around the time when he talked about Reels and stuff, and I found it so interesting that like there's this one guy who has this insane social media presence and such insane artistic skill, and was giving advice completely opposite to what this other artist on the end, like another successful artist, had to say. Because I think last year, like the reason, like one of the big reasons why a lot of us like started pushing really hard on Instagram early 2021 was because Rainy Loon's blog post about how to kind of play within the rules of the Instagram algorithm came out, and one of the big pieces of advice was like, these are the things that a marketing person at Instagram said we have to do in order for the algorithm to play nice with your work. And then she gave like the hard numbers that Instagram wanted, and then she gave her like her soft numbers, like these are kind of like the minimum things, right?
Which are not feasible for an artist.
So crazy.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was so interesting to like know that on the one hand there are artists who are like, yes, I'm ready to tackle this game 100%, and I'm going to play this game because this is how I want my art to reach its audience, yada yada yada. And then you have other artists like Sam who are just like, actually no, like continue to do what you feel best doing, because what you feel good about doing is what's going to actually bring you closer to finding the niche that you're trying to get to.
Actually, that also builds on... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I like that thought process a lot more, especially when you consider that Instagram literally is not catering towards people
artists,
making art. Yeah, so to be able to ignore... Like, I think Reels are the dumbest thing to be added to Instagram, honestly.
I mean, they're just... they're trying to compete with TikTok, though. Like
Exactly.
It makes sense.
And then, so it's like eventually another social media thing will get popular, and then everyone will move on to that because Instagram's going to copy that too. So it's like, that's just a good way to burn yourself out, I feel like.
Yeah.
Chasing down the latest trend. Like,
so
what makes you happy?
I watched this this video from Chris Do. Do you know Chris Do?
Yeah, I love Chris Do.
He
Future.
He was actually one of my design teachers at Art Center way back when, and I just sort of have kept up with what he's doing because how can you not? It's amazing. But Chris Do. Also, there's my blobby fire thing going right there.
So good.
So good.
So he had this video about social media where he basically broke down the idea that like if social media, the purpose of social media and what social media wants whenever it's like a free social media is it wants you to use the app. Like The more time and the more eyeballs that are on the app, the more advertising revenue, the more data it collects. Like, so that as a rule for understanding how to make social media work for you, like that's the only rule you have to understand. Like, so anything that you do on social media, you just think like, will this make more people use the app for longer? And I've always thought that that's like, I actually don't like thinking about social media that much, but like when I do, like I do think about that, because it's like very, it ends up putting on these trends in perspective. So like if you look at like Reels, like what, that's the thing that they're promoting now, because they're trying to compete with TikTok. So if you do use Reels, they're gonna push your content further, just because like they want as many people on the app as possible, using it for as long as possible, and right now they're seeing that as the trend. So I just thought that was interesting. I also want to talk about, like, I think a lot of, like, we're talking about social media very purposefully, but I think a lot of artists start to talk about their art and then change the subject almost without thinking about it to social media. Like, so there's a conversation going about style or about like artistic intent or storytelling or whatever, and then the conversation shifts to talking about numbers and algorithms and comments and likes and followers, and you know, like I've just noticed that happens more and more frequently these days. And I'm just curious if you guys have also experienced that, talking to other artists, or like experience yourself doing it or anything like that.
I have a lot to say about this, so I'm gonna concede. I'm gonna offer the floor to everyone else first.
Okay.
I mean, I have a little bit of thoughts on this before Angela gives us all of her wisdom.
Oh,
But there was another panel earlier with the DeviantArt where they were saying it's like, you can have a lot of numbers, but if you don't have a core audience who really cares about you, it won't matter even if you have a huge number. So for me, what I'm looking for with social media is now, especially through Lightbox, that community. So I have the Discord, I have my streaming, and for me, the streaming has been great to like spend time with people and get to know them and like really play around with my art. And that's what I'm looking for. So for me, even if my numbers aren't going up, I'm building that space where I feel comfortable talking to people, and that's what I want. But when I feel like younger artists who are like still in their teens and they don't have really a lot of experience with the world, I think that there's more pressure and like this clout searching, like there's just a lot of expectations that social media is part of your identity that I don't currently have to deal with. But like if I was trying to make a career right now in art, I think I would feel it more.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel that.
Yeah, I've honestly gotten to the point now where I'm more excited to post in the Discord with you guys than I am to post on Instagram. And I feel like I have more freedom of stuff I post in there. Like I can post sketches. I don't need to worry like, is this going to be good for the algorithm? And just seeing the hype and love that you guys send back to everyone is awesome. So.
But I'm curious if you ever catch yourself, or if you ever see other artists like you're like if you're painting a landscape painting, right? And if you ever see the conversation shift from landscape painting to social media numbers or social and just like what that experience is like for you, because I sometimes don't even catch myself when that happens.
I don't think I've ever heard you actually talk about like your social, like, not like I don't think I've ever really heard you kind of talk about your relationship with algorithms and all of that stuff.
Oh, Corwin says he totally sees that all the time, and also I've been ignoring chat. Sometimes
I see kids. And then also, like, even adults, like, really the people who are trying to build an audience struggle with it a lot. And I see things like, oh, if I post a character, it gets more attention than if I post a landscape. Or if I post a close-up of the face, it gets more attention than of a full body. Or if I do this. So like it shapes the direction of their art because they're trying to get that engagement.
Yes.
So I do see that as, I think I see it as sad more than I see it as anything else, because just like for me, when I started drawing, I didn't have to deal with all of those eyes on it.
Yep.
It was just something I did for fun.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was confident enough to post, I wasn't as worried. But that's so not an option for so many younger people. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's gonna go.
That's really interesting for me to hear, because like I was on the internet as young as 6, and I was on the internet in like 99. And as soon as I got on the internet, like some of the first things I looked up was like how to draw Sailor Moon, how to draw anime. And from there it like from there it like introduced me to DeviantArt. And then once I got into DeviantArt at such a young age, like maybe 8, 9, 10, around about there, like from that early age, like it got into my head that like, oh, views matter, comments matter, all of this stuff matters, because all the people who are really good at art have all of these things. So what I need to do as a young artist is clearly like do all the things so that I can rack up that number. And it just like puts you in such a weird toxic bubble that I don't think a lot of people had the words for at the time. And now, like looking back on it so long ago, it's just like, dude, that was not the right way to do it at all. Like I was going about learning art and all of this stuff in absolutely the wrong way.
Focused on like sort of outcomes and goals rather than like the learning process. Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, like there was definitely still a lot of that kind of blind hyper focus on just like, yeah, I'm gonna make anything I want because this is what I want to be doing. I love art. There's still a lot of that, you know, that very innocent energy. But there was also, unfortunately, like the impact of very early social media elements, like on my whole thing. So it's interesting to hear from people who like have never really, like who had a period in their lives where like none of that mattered. Because for me, like I feel like it's just so ingrained because I was on the internet so young.
Carmen has a good point in chat too, where she's saying that it's not just art, even like influencer culture, and I think the other term is like clout seeking. That has really changed a lot of social interactions and like how you view yourself compared to the world, and like getting positions or doing anything is like trying to build a number and performing to meet that. You still care about the reason that you're getting attention, but like the way that you're pursuing it can, you know, it becomes a battle. It's not just, oh, I like this thing, I'm going to do this thing. It's, I like this thing, but how do I make sure that I'm doing it in the best way? Like I think in gaming, there's
you're
the idea of
min-maxing.
Like, I gotta do this in the best way. If I can't do it in the best way, I shouldn't do it at all. Like that perfectionism starts being a lot.
That's me and like all the Stardew Valley I've been doing lately. It's just like, oh no, I didn't maximize my hours in the day, and I didn't like go talk to this guy at the right time. I like didn't harvest my plants. I didn't pet my chickens. Like I need to reset everything. There's so much fear. There's so much worry about doing things right. And it all like ties into this whole thing of like overthinking as well. That's been kind of prevalent in my like learning lately. Just like there's so much overthinking and so much planning and what's called hypervigilance, because you are doing everything within your power to make sure that like your plans are solid, that no one can say anything about like you didn't play the game right. You know, you're covering your bases as much as you can, but you're so focused on that you don't actually make anything. So you're spending all these hours, you're spending 10,000 hours overthinking instead of 10,000 hours mastering your craft. And sometimes it's 10,000 hours going into making sure you're maximizing the algorithm and your socials, and like you're making sure your Instagram layout looks good, instead of like actually putting in the hours to sketch and like study perspective, because it's hard, study color, study shape, all of this stuff. And it's messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it really does just come down to like the difference between art and social media. So like, are you practicing your craft, or are you worrying about engagement and stuff? And so, Danny said I do fear like people hating my art on social media, and it kind of sucks. Like I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Also, Nora was saying I feel the internet wasn't really available to regular people very much when I was a kid in the 80s. Get internet access earlier than anyone I knew in 1991. Yeah, that's.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. Let's see. I was born in '86, so I'm not quite.
Grandpa.
Grandpa. Yeah. But yeah, I remember like first getting internet at my place. It was like, what the heck? I can talk to people in chat rooms. This is so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, even when I first got Instagram, I wasn't really posting art on there. I was doing that cliche like water droplets on the window with the stupid filter. And then I started seeing lots of art on there, and then I was like, oh wait, this is smart. What am I doing?
But then, like, it's really interesting to think about how Instagram too has kind of ballooned as this art platform when it has done so much over its existence to kind of make it more difficult for artists to grow on that platform. Like, I've read a lot of stuff about them being more catered towards photography and like influencers and that kind of thing, and not so much artists. So it really is surprising to see like a lot of people like still doing this uphill battle on Instagram, but it's throwing so many things in our faces that are just like making it that much more difficult.
Yeah.
And then the other thing. Oh no, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like the reason I do see why people push for Instagram instead of like the art specific social media is because like you also get that outside audience. So there's just more people you can reach. You know, like everyone pretty much has an Instagram, but not everyone's gonna get like a Deviant or something.
That's true.
Hey, I don't want to like. Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, please go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to like put you guys to work like or whatever, but do you mind telling me if there's anything going on in the chat? Because I'm like staring. I've got my nose like 5 inches.
I've been reading through.
Yeah, Ali has been very active in the chat, responding to people in the comments.
Okay,
There's
thank you.
a lot of people kind of talking about how it's surprising that influencers are even a thing, and then like how difficult it is to be an influencer because like your life is your content.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine that. Okay, so I want to talk about something with like TikTok really quick.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh no.
so I was thinking that like I was trying to make TikToks and stuff, but then I was like, where does the presentness of mind happen if you're doing this? Like, because I can't sit down and focus fully on a drawing, on a line, on making a mark, on painting something, if I'm also thinking about filming it.
Yeah.
So even if I get really used to the process and I am and it feels like second nature, then I am still introducing an element that is not the actual like it's separate from what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just think it's interesting to think about that as a thing. Also, I'm done animating these fills, so.
Yay!
You did it!
You did it!
Oh my gosh, I love the blob so much.
Hey.
Such a good blob.
Your viscous blob.
Yeah.
So quick animation question, real quick. How did you get the hair, which is moving at its own kind of frame rate, to be on the same layers as the fire, which is moving, the fireball, which is on its own like thing?
Oh, I made sure that the hair had the same number of frames as the fire.
Okay, so that's really just it. And then you did something about like holding the frames as well, right? So
yes. Okay. So if you hold a frame, I don't want to break anything. Let me make a new frame. So if I have this frame, which is, I'm just gonna write hold in Procreate. This is actually like a Procreate specific thing.
Right.
Hold. And then you can tell it to hold for a certain number of frames. So I just went through and held frames that I thought would be okay as a little bit slower. So if I want this hold frame to actually be 2 frames, then it will hold for 2 frames. But if I actually want to draw, like you can see it's just 1 frame up here. There's only 1 layer.
Yeah.
Right here. But if I actually click on it and say duplicate, it'll break it out as its own layer.
Okay.
Right? And then if I wanted it to be slightly different, I could, turn on my onion skins again and sort of like trace over and say hold.
Okay.
So that's what I did with the hair. I figured out where I could hold things a little bit, and then I broke out those frames and actually drew them out just so that the flame and the hair would have the same number of drawings.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
If you go back in the
cool.
video, I kind of skipped over it, but you can totally see it.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So with the color jitters on the
Mhm.
moving parts, does that mean you're gonna have to go over the entire character for every frame again so that they all move consistently, or are you gonna just let the moving parts jitter?
I could. Or I could just leave it and see if it works. I was saying I'm gonna bring this into After Effects. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
what I
So
can
tomorrow's session is going to be the final
Yeah.
stuff in After Effects. I see.
yeah, basically what I can do is take a solid color and clip it down to my and like in After Effects I can do all this. Clip it down and then just turn the opacity down until the color jitter is tolerable.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I can do that for all the frames at once. So that's what I'm gonna do in After Effects. And tomorrow's should be interesting because After Effects has its own very steep learning curve. So I'm gonna try to simplify stuff as much as I can, but it might be
A more advanced session.
yeah, it might be a little more advanced. So we'll see. I might make some things that explain After Effects.
Honestly, not the worst. Like, even if it was like intensive, like it would still be really cool to like just kind of see what the workflow looks like.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So
But that's just me. I'm just a nerd, so who cares what I like?
yeah, you big nerd.
Wow.
We're all
thank you.
nerds. We're all nerds.
But like it's beautiful, so do we care we're nerds when it's pretty things at the end of it?
That's
yeah,
true.
for sure, for sure.
Oh,
So
goodness.
I think I'm actually going to wrap up.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I'm just
Maybe
gonna
we should hop out of the call.
yeah. I think I'm gonna show how. I mean, you guys can stay if you want to, but I'm gonna be talking a lot. I'm gonna show
Yeah, no, please.
how to make these little sparkles in a separate separate file, and then that'll be it for today. And then I'm going to get everything ready for tomorrow. So yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us on here.
Yeah.
Dude,
thanks
thanks
for
for hanging
having
out
us
with
on
me.
your stream.
Yeah.
We'll be lurking in your chat. Good
Okay.
talk.
Cool. Bye.
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 And if I missed anything in the chat because I was talking with everyone, let me know, because I had to be looking like this close to my thing, so I couldn't really look at chat that much. But so now I'm gonna take this whole file and duplicate it, just so I have the resolution relative to where the other elements are. I'm gonna call this sparkles. All right, and then sparkles. I'm gonna delete everything that is not my reference. You'll see where I'm going with this in just a second. And also, yeah, if you do have any questions, this is great. Excited to see the finished piece. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get to a place tomorrow where it's all composited in After Effects and stuff. So you can delete all that. Don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. Those in the foreground, don't need that. Okay, so now I'm going to say I literally just want to animate these little sparkles in here. So I'm just going to crop into one of the sparkles. And this is gonna be a tiny little file. It's actually still pretty big because I'm working at this monster resolution. Let's try and do something that makes sense. Let's say 200 by 200. Okay, so now here's our tiny animation file. I hope I duplicated this. Okay, that'd be really bad if I didn't. So we still have our original. I'm just double checking because I'm paranoid. So we still have that animation, that's good. And then now for this little sparkle, make the background black. Grab a white brush. So it's gonna start out as nothing and then do something. So maybe it gets, maybe it sort of starts off as a little thing like this. And then it gets very big, like so. and then maybe goes back small again. Is that too much? That's too much. So I'm gonna maybe put another frame where it just is really big like that again. That's one kind of sparkle, and then I'm going to put a few blank frames and do another one where maybe it starts out as nothing and then it goes really big and then just dissipates. Let me try on onion skins and turn on the opacity. So this one's just gonna dissipate out along the edges. Like this. So that's a different type of sparkle. And we'll take all these sparkles and sort of put them in the composition later. So that's more like a pop, but maybe it'll work. So let's try another one. Put a bunch of blank frames. I'll have this one go like spin a little bit. So it'll start off small like this, and then it'll start to spin a little bit. And then start to get smaller again. Cool, and then hopefully we can populate these 3 sparkles around the shiny things in the cave. I wonder if there's any other kinds of sparkles we can do. Let's see. Yes, a twirly sparkle. I'm gonna do one more that's maybe like has more of like an ease on it. So first frame's this. Next frame is this. And then it's just gonna hold. Oh, I did not mean to do that. It's just gonna hold there for a little while. And then very quickly start to disappear again. Last frame is just a dot. And then a few extra frames. Okay, let's see how that plays. Yeah, okay, I think that's good. So now we can import this, separate them out, and populate them throughout the scene to add little bits of sparkles everywhere. So now, the process for getting this out into After Effects onto your computer is you can either save both of these files as PSDs and then import the PSDs into After Effects, and then break out the layers and put them in time. Like, here's this layer, and the next layer is 1 frame over, the next layer is 1 frame over, and so forth. Or you can export out an image sequence, import the image sequence into After Effects, set the frame rate, and then see if that works. So yeah, this is where we ended up with for our animated elements. And then we have the sparkles as well. And tomorrow I'm going to be showing how to take all of that, how to prep the files and bring it all into After Effects. So yeah, that's everything. And thank you again, Colin, Ali, and Angela for hanging out when I could not read chat for a little minute. I hope that it was a good time and entertaining. So yeah, that's where we got to. I especially like the tennis ball. Yeah. Thank you for coming, everybody. So yeah, I think that we're gonna end it right here. Thanks again. Goodbye. Have an excellent day, and definitely stop by the Discord and hang out. If I missed anything, you can send me a DM on Instagram. Follow the socials below. Check out my brushes pinned at the top or in the description. Yeah, I can't think if there's anything else, but I really appreciate everybody else. I really appreciate everybody coming to hang out with me while I stream. It was a whole lot of fun. All right, goodbye everybody. Take care. And yeah, Toasty's putting a Discord link in the chat. Okay, bye.